Hey there, it's me, Nate, and today I want to give you my thoughts on Baptism of Fire by Andrzej Sapkowski. This is the fifth Witcher book in the series, and this will probably be a quick review. I don't want to go too far into details, considering this is 5 books into a series. I don't want to spoil the previous 4 books too much, but I will give some light details. So if you haven't read the previous books, I would suggest going back and reading them, or before watching this video. Now, as for Baptism of Fire, it continues. Probably I think like a month after the events of Time of Contempt. This book is mainly a Geralt book. We do have like a few ciri parts, but it's like very much like minor. It's like we get maybe like a few pages of ciri, then it's like right back to Geralt. And then we do get like some perspectives from the other characters, more towards like kind of like the last third of the book, and some in like the first chapter. But for the most part, this is a very Geralt and his current traveling companions focused story. And if you watched my Time of Contempt review, you might recall that I was a bit let down by that book. I didn't hate it, but I definitely felt it was kind of all over the place. There's some things I really liked about it. There's some other things I really didn't care for. But I think Baptism Fire is a really good step back in the right direction. So here in Baptism of Fire, right after the kind of ending pages of Time of Contempt, where Geralt and Dandelion set off on their journey to Nilfgaard to go and rescue Ciri from the Nilfgaardian emperor and the Nilfgaardian kind of like royal court. They are joined by a new character that's introduced here in Baptism of Fire, Milva, or also her name is Maria Banning. She is like this human kind of like archer hunter that works with the dryads from Brokilon, and helps like the Scoia'taels kind of escape from the human armies. And she was there while Geralt was recovering, and she decides to accompany them after learning that Geralt and Dandelion are heading directly into the current front of the war, because Nilfgaard and Temeria and Redania, all these countries that are still left after the previous assault, are clashing directly in the path of where Geralt and Dandelion need to head to. And so Milva decides to join them and accompany them on their journey. And then they are joined along the way by Kay here, who is the Nilfgaardian knight that we've seen in Time of Contempt, and also from Ciri's Nightmares in Blood of Elves. And we get to learn a little bit more about him, get to see a little bit of more of his personality. And then we also get probably my favorite new character is Regis, and he is this apothecary doctor character, and he adds a really new interesting flavor to the group. And we also meet another cool dwarf. We meet Zoltan Shive, and he is guarding and escorting a group of refugees to try to find them a place where he can drop them off at. And interestingly enough, a lot of these refugees, they oftentimes call them fugitives, which feels like a strange choice, but I guess in the terms of some of these lands that they're going through are probably now considered Nilfgaardian territory, and they are trying to get away from the Nilfgaardians, so I guess they technically are fugitives. But it did give me I thought it was a little bit weird the first time I read it, but if you look at the direct wording of fugitive, then yeah, it makes sense. And so a lot of this book is Geralt and Dandelion and these new characters kind of walking and talking. Similar to like a lot of the other the previous two books. This is very much like a travel fantasy story where if you're not a big fan of that, of like people walking and talking, I don't think this series is for you, which I'm sure you've probably realized at this point already. But I think they have like some really interesting discussions between these characters, and they learn more about the current situation of the war and like what's going on, and they also talk about life and themselves and each other. And Geralt actually has like some more character development in this book that is interesting, that I feel like progresses him forward, because a lot of in the previous books, much to my annoyance, a lot of Geralt's like character development or like character scenes were kind of really focused on his relationship with Yennefer, and this book kind of lets Geralt actually be like a character outside of his relationship with her. So I find that really, really great. And so that's what's going on with Geralt. And then as for like the Ciri parts, she's still with the rats, and like they're still doing their thing. Not really much, like I said, it's mostly a Geralt book. Not really much happens there. Now, the last like third of the book is like some more, and a little bit that peppered throughout here and there. We get some more political intrigue with like the sorceresses that like escaped from the events of Thanedd. Excuse me. So we have Philippa Owlheart, Kira Metz, Triss Marigold, and what's her name? Francesca Findabair, the Elven Queen. And so they want to Philippa Owlheart wants to basically put together like an organization of sorceresses that, instead of being focused on looking out for just like one kingdom or one political interest, that are focused more about the position of magic in the world and ensuring that magic stays important and is protected. And so that's really interesting. And through that plot line, we get reintroduced to a character that we haven't seen in a while. So all in all, like you have like these mostly this Geralt storyline with a few series scenes and the stuff with like these sorceresses. And I think it's all pretty good. I don't think there's like any part of these stories that is uninteresting. Anytime with like Geralt and his like his motley crew, his band of companions, anytime we got to a point where I felt like it's kind of getting a bit dry, I wish something would happen, then like a pretty immediately after something happened. So I feel like Sapkowski does a better job of like pacing the events and the story in Baptism of Fire compared to the previous two books. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Baptism of Fire. As for my score, I'll give it 4 stars out of 5, which in my book and my scale is a great book. I think this is, I think so far out of all of the Witcher books I've read so far, this is the best one. And a lot of people do say that Baptism of Fire is the best book in the series. I still have 2 more of the main books left to go, and then I have there's 2 prequel novels. And I think I'll probably get through all the Witcher books before the end of the year, I imagine. I already ordered and got my copy of Tower of Swallows. So I probably get to that in a few months. But yeah, I'm having a good time with the Witcher books. Baptism of Fire was a really good positive change in the direction after Time of Contempt, and I'm looking forward to picking up the rest of the series. So if you could comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are on Baptism of Fire or the Witcher series in general, if you've read the books or not. And if you could, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Because I would really like to grow the channel, get more people watching. And so yeah, thank you for watching, and have a good day. Until next time.